Good morning, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market opens up here in about 2 minutes. Real quick, when I say live, what I mean is that I'm recording myself, seeing everything for the very first time compared to, having already recorded everything and then coming back and talking about it in hindsight. So this is not a trade recap. This is not a post commentary. I literally don't know what's coming next. So if you just want a raw, nitty-gritty, unscripted look into what it's like to be a day trader, how day trading can play out, then this will be a video for you. So as of now, I am planning on doing some Tesla options, although that's subject to change because, something maybe pops up in the next couple minutes that draws my attention to that. But as of now, that is the plan. So I will pause for now, and I'll be back at the open. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to pick up some puts here at 1675, but I may have been a little too slow on that. Amazing. Charts just blow my mind. Look at that. Went right up to that blue line, got rejected right off of it, but was a little too, and now, okay, there we go. So let's see what this wants to do. And it's 1675. Love to see it down below 1062. So all out there, 125. I didn't like. It was a fine setup, and I made $125, so I don't want to come across like a greedy savage, but it just doesn't, it didn't quite feel as good as I wanted it to after I got filled there, mainly because I hesitated, and then I got filled, and at that point, like I said, it wasn't a terrible entry. I still made money on it, so I'm not trying to say like that was some sort of bad trade. I was just saying it wasn't quite as good, so I decided, you know what? Let me just take the 125, and I can start to reassess the situation, and this very well could full well come back down, and that's just fine. But sometimes you just got to admit, okay, that wasn't the ideal entry. And oftentimes, at least for me when I was getting started, like I'd always lie to myself, like, no, that was still a good entry, even though I knew it wasn't. I was like, oh no, that's still fine. And that's just where you can get yourself into trouble here. But and exactly what's going on here. So that's why I didn't quite feel right. And to pat myself on the back, at least I acknowledge that. And, put the 125 in my pocket. But I am interested if this thing wants to get up over, what is that? Yeah, let's call it 1068. Would be certainly interested in potentially taking another trade on it. But overall, I'll take it. So 125 to start the day. All right, watching NVIDIA here at 243. Or maybe 244.35 if it wants to bounce back up, which as of now it is. So let's see if it can get up through 244. Hit me at 244.35. There we go. Close. There we go. In. Let's see if it wants to come back down. Nope. $245 is a stop. Got to get out. Wow. Okay. I love that setup. But just too strong. Went up over my stop. How high did it go? I didn't stop out at the high, did I? No, went up at as high as 45.10. Well, all right. Crazy move. Crazy. So I am now down 192. And there go, and there goes Tesla. I mean, whatever. Both setups were fine. No, Tesla wouldn't have given me a trade regardless. So, yeah, and I'm watching nvda off screen, and it's starting to come back. Yeah, It's gone back down. That happens, though. That happens. So do I want to try it again at 243.75? No, I'm going to pass on it. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's a random choice to make, but is that like A++ setup? No. So it's probably got a little bit of a revenge trade flavor to it, which I definitely want to avoid. But we'll see. If this thing wants to maybe give a more of a established setup, then maybe 243.75 could get interesting. But as of now, and maybe you disagree with me, but for me, that feels too much like a revenge trade. Man, I'm looking at that. I gave that thing plenty of wiggle room. In fact, could be argued maybe even too much wiggle room and still got stopped out. All right, I'll pause. All right, I have an order at $15 here for some puts on Tesla. Actually, with this thing can give another surge. I bet I can try to go for $14.50. Might cost me an entry point, but I want to be extra careful on this one. So I'm trying for $14.50. It is a bit of a guessing game. If I can push up to 1075, I like that a lot. But where's the price? Let's go to 1375 here. All right, so let's see if Tesla itself can come up, which will cause the put price to come down, and we'll see if I can get filled. But I will go ahead and pause for now. Okay, maybe going to get filled here at 1375. Okay, got to change that now down to 1325. So just need one bit of a push. There we go. Can I get filled? Oh, I got that push, but it didn't quite fill me. $12.75 now. All right, well, the way it's hovering around, let's go to $12.50. Definitely going to need to get through 1076 if I'm going to have a chance of getting filled. Let's see, what is that over there? Yeah, 1079 is probably where I should really be trying to time that up. All right, well, if Tesla wants to get up around 1079, as of now, I'm still interested in potentially trying to play a put here, but it does look like maybe it's taking a break here. We'll see. But all right, I will go ahead and pause. On the flip side of things, a little lesson why you want to honor stop losses. That would have been painful. Again, got stopped out right around there, give or take, and look how much further that thing ended up going. I mean, basically another $2. So at 500 shares, that would have been an additional $1,000 on top of my loss of 316. So 316 compared to being down, again, 1,000 more to that, $1,300 potentially. I'll go ahead and take that minus 316. That actually looks very, very, I mean, that, as far as I'm concerned, that looks like a winning trade all of a sudden when you see how nasty this thing ultimately got. Because, yeah, there was that little bit of a pullback here, but that would have never, given me any sort of profitable opportunity because I was looking for more than that. So in all actuality, and again, this isn't, for all I know, this thing is about to go up more and get worse and worse. But as of now, Again, from 245 up to 247, that was potentially literally another $1,000 that I could have added onto that loss. So when when there's no additional one right there, 13 being down 13.16, eek being down 3.16, hey, I can live with that. So yeah, at this point, that losing trade, in my mind, looks like a winning trade. But let's go back to Tesla here. And look at nvda go. Wow, and I love that setup too. I mean, I'd take that setup again. It just shows that there are no guarantees in the market, and that's why you gotta risk management matters, because I realize holding and hoping, sometimes that can work out, but if it doesn't work out as you're seeing here, those losses can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, the power of charts had that, this 1075 was from a couple days ago, but amazing how that level came back into play and behaved essentially as a resistance there. I'm still interested more so in this thing up around the 1079 mark if it wants to get up there. But I know nvda is whispering in my ear. Do I really want to? No, I don't want to. You can't take that short. It feels like it's struggling now to continue on with this trend, but Tesla 1063, 1062. I'm interested in calls. Still got to come down quite a ways if I'm going to have any sort of chance. Well, who knows? Still got a ways to go. Yeah, 1062, I like it. Well, let's see if this thing can pull back some more. I'll pause. Okay, looking to get filled here at 14. Once again, a bit of a guessing game. So now I'm going to go down to 1350 here. Earlier I'd mentioned Tesla at 1062. So definitely thinking right around that area. Let's see if I can get a bit better than that. Or else maybe I'm being a greedy savage right now, trying to get it an even better entry point. But did it ever even hit 1062 on this move? Low of, no, 1062.53. So as of now, I'm playing it just fine. I mean, it never even hit my entry point. Okay, I will go ahead and pause, and when it looks like it's going to potentially come down and fill me, I'll get the video rolling. Okay, maybe coming down. Again, I'm at 1350. All right, never mind, I'll pause. And again, not to pat myself on the back, but the power of charts, look at that. And shame on me. That's just my stubbornness. Look at that. I promise you I've not moved that blue line. Came down there, back test off that level. And again, that hit a low of, oh, it did hit 10. Did it really? No way. Yeah, low of 1062 on the dot. If you look over here, look at the prices. So look, just in case for you skeptics, which I understand people can be skeptical. So look right there. I'm going to move it and look where it says right there, low of 1062. But as you saw, and so while that does give a good example of the power of charts and why I would argue everybody should learn charts, it does also show that just because you can read a chart, just because you can draw some trend lines, doesn't mean that you're going to make any money. Perfect example right here. I nailed it. From an analysis standpoint, I nailed it. But notice my trades. I didn't actually make any money from it. So there is more to trading than only now, of course, that's important, analyzing, but there's more that goes into it than just that. And we have a good example of that. So yeah, makes me look smart and stupid at the same time. But you saw I was trying to get in, I was trying to finagle it, and at the core, I was being a bit of a greedy savage because I wanted just a bit better of an entry point which ultimately cost me missing out on the entire trade, which as you can see here, nice bounce. Wouldn't have been a great trade, but I got a little bit too greedy. Now, I think some of the greedy came from the sense of I wanted to be extra conservative since I'm already down on the day. So I didn't want to, throw myself into something. But yeah, there was probably still some greed mixed in there, but it is what it is. All right, watching 244.70 here on nvda to potentially get short. Even Tesla's looking good. Wow, coming down here quick. A bit too quick for me to actually feel comfortable with it. I would have liked to have seen it do a little bit more of a methodical move. I'm going to have to pass. I don't like the nature. Maybe this is going to cost me, but came down too quick. And then Tesla 1062 looks like a super interesting area. Oh, what's already broken down through it. Oh, and there goes nvda. Well, bummer. Great setups, but I don't like the way the price was approaching. And the markets have not yet broken down from this level that I'm watching. So I wanted to see a little bit more. So right here, you can see that the SPY has not broken down through that support. It's still green. Now, if it does break down, it should give those stocks just that much more of a push. But as of now, that has not happened. And now nvda is bouncing a bit. Yeah, and there goes nvda back up. So that's what had me worried there. Yeah, right there. Okay, so as of now, let's see. Nope, that wasn't a big enough move for me to. No, of course it could come back down, but I'm thinking more so 244 might be the actual area to watch, but mainly going to be watching the SPY there and see if that breaks down. If that starts to break down, then I think we could definitely get some downside pressure, which would help out, in theory, these stocks here. So have I been recording this? Perfect. All right. Wow, we're 17 minutes in. All right, I'll be a little bit more selective now with when I hit the record button. And that would have been a losing trade at this point. So I'm glad I trusted my gut on that as it's now snapped back up. And again, the markets are actually bouncing up too, which would make sense. So again, it's in my mind, it's all about now, SPY and that key level of support. Can it be broken? All right, I am now once again interested at 244.70. Okay, in there, 244.70. How am I not filled? There we go. Took out 50 shares, so this could still be a losing trade. But I want to see if the market itself can come down and even just retest 445.50. So took out another 50 there. So now it's just a question of on nvda, does this want to bounce or break through the trend line? So there's the break. Again, SPY, market's coming down, just like I said I wanted to see it come down. And as that comes down, that should help me out here. There we go, got out another 50. Took out another 50. And I'm going to call it good. Hey, up $9 on the day. Very nice. Now, let me just address the question. Clay, why did you only do 250 shares? You did 500 the first time. Had you done 500, you would have been well back into the green. Very good observation. Very good question. And the answer to that would be risk management. Because the blind spot that you're kind of overlooking is the question of, well, but what happens if I had been wrong? Which is going to happen. It's already happened. It can always happen to us as traders. What happens if I was wrong? Well, given what I was risking, I was just not willing to be wrong with 500 shares. I was willing to be wrong with 250 because that would have limited my loss. Now, as you just saw, it also limited my win. It limited the gain that I could make. So, I get it, right? Trust me, I'm saying right now, geez, Clay, why did I only do 250 shares? I should have done 500. Look at this thing. It's going down fantastic. And look at that. Good example of why you better be using the SPY with your trades. Got the breakdown, and there it goes. But trust me, that voice is wreaking havoc. Not wreaking havoc because I'm aware of the voice, but the voice is knocking on the door right now saying, "Hey, moron, why'd you only do 250? You should have done 500, and this would have been a great trade." Yeah, but here's the flip side. Let's say I'd done 500 and then I'd been wrong and the price started to go against me. The voice would be saying, "Hey, moron, why don't you manage risk? Look at this loss. It's getting way bigger now, way bigger than what you wanted because you were a greedy savage and you did 500 shares again. Why did you do 500, you greedy savage?" So again, it's a knife that cuts both ways. And what I've learned over my years of trading, which started back in 2006-ish, you can't play that game. You can't do the I should have. No. I did what I should have done via position size. And yes, it's annoying when you nail something and it perfectly works out. And then you play the, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda game. Well, yeah, but you gotta remember that's a two-sided coin. What if you had been wrong? So always ask yourself that as a trader. What if I had been wrong? Like I said, had I been wrong, I'd be so excited. I'd be glad. I'm like, well, geez, I made a great decision to only do 250 shares. And I am stalling here a little bit just so we can see how far down this thing actually goes. But you get the idea there. And before I forget, because people are always asking, "Hey, Clay, how does your chat room work?" Well, check this out. Put an image of that, what you were just seeing on the screen. Said NVDA 1 minute well defined. So, I mean, does that mean that, every single member took that break of the trend line? No, it's not a bunch of sheep. But the point being is that members were alerted to it. They were well aware of it. And, hopefully some of them did take advantage of it. But wow, it's over an hour into the day. Usually I'm trying to be done after 30 minutes. So I'm well over average today. And I'm walking away with $9 after commissions, probably right around break even, maybe $1, maybe a couple of dollars. But overall, I played it the right way today. I'm glad to be back to green. And as much as I wish I would have done the 500 there, I also, like I said, realize that's just the voice that shows up, because had I been wrong, then I'd still have a very manageable red day. But instead of being down 192, I'm up, like I said, the $9 or whatever the commissions may be. But so hopefully this helps. Actually, let me repeat this. What actually made this day possible? What made this day possible? The fact that I stopped out right about there. Now, I realize the price did come back down, but that's not the point. If you plan on sitting through moves like this, hoping, one of these is never going to come down and you'll get absolutely destroyed. Ask me how I know that. Ask me if I've ever done that in my, almost 2-decade journey. But point being, that's what made it possible. I cut the loss, as annoying as it was. I didn't let it spin out of control, because at some point you're going to just wave the white flag. You can't take any more pain. And, that loss right there, which was 300 something, right? That could have been 1,300. And then this trade that you just saw would have been an absolute drop in the bucket, made really no dent in it at all. Look at this thing continue to go down. But so just remember to honor your stop losses. Risk management is more than just stop losses, right? Risk management is also the art of position sizing, which cost me here, but I won't repeat myself there. You understand how that two-sided coin works. But all right, have an order at 1250. Well, I got 3 contracts, which is not what I wanted. So yes, I am putting on another trade here. Figures I get the video done. And then a few moments later, Tesla's making and giving a nice little setup here. Yeah, 1054 is going to be that key break area. So out there for $150, which I suppose I could stay in, but I just didn't really want to deal with it, given that it didn't give me my full share size, which may be a silly, but I don't know. Almost like one of those, oh, I'm going to take my ball and go home type instances. But anyways, so there is actually another trade for $150. It would have been nice to have those other two contracts, but nvda also is once again looking pretty interesting. Down around that 242 area. And now that I have a bigger buffer here, I would be willing to up my size on that. So who knows, maybe another trade coming. I'll go ahead and pause for now because I already know the video is long enough. But with these added trades, I'll try to just make sure that it's trades only. All right, going to go ahead and try to get in here at 242. Can I get a back test? There we go. In at 242 on the back test. Let's see if we can get some more follow through now. Keeping a very close eye on the overall markets, as I illustrated earlier on in the video. This is definitely all based on if the markets want to come down, which I think they have a realistic chance of wanting to do. Although I was looking for a bit more of a quicker breakdown. So I'm trying to keep this thing on a tighter leash here. And I'm going to hop out there for basically break even. Feels too much like a 50-50 at this point. I really thought that it could go, and maybe it does finally go here. But when I got out, felt as though it was 50-50 coin flip, and I don't like coin flip trades. I'm in trades because I believe I have an edge, and that edge seemingly disappeared. Keyword being seemingly, because maybe it didn't. Maybe I was wrong, and I could still see it going down. Don't get me wrong, but the problem was I could see it just as easily going back up, and I wasn't willing to, like I said, in the spirit of trying to keep the trade on a tight leash, I decided not to do anything with it. But yep, there it goes. So the coin flip would have worked in my, well, not necessarily, because I was wanting to see, ideally get down to at least 241.25, if not even lower than that. So in all actuality, I still would not have been out of the trade. Yep. I mean, it was 241.25 bare minimum is where I was looking for. Although Tesla now all of a sudden, is Tesla going to give an opportunity from the call side of things? So there's another 2 extra trades and maybe even one more. All right, I'll go ahead and pause. Well, quick update there. Check that out. Up it went. So the coin flip I thought went in my favor, and now it's looking like it's going against me, and that would have definitely knocked me out for a loss because I had a tight leash on it to begin with. I was looking for a relatively tight. Okay, but now I'm asking myself, should I be re-entering here? 241.75. 241. No, I'm going to pass. But what does catch my eye is potentially Tesla at 1042 for some calls. So actually, let's go back over to my options trading platform. And let's see if Tesla wants to come down. I may be interested in some calls on it, but I'll pause for now. All right, I'm in at, or not in, I'm trying to get in at 1050. Come on, come down a little bit more. Nope. Okay, in. So in at 1050. See if we can get some sort of bounce here. Don't need a huge bounce. I'm interested and willing to pick up some more contracts at approximately the 950 mark. And all out there for, what was that? I don't even know what oh yeah, the 175. Now, if this thing wants to come down some more to, what is that, 1035? Double check. Keep in mind, I'm looking over at my other monitors on the 5-minute time frame. 1034, yeah, 1034. I'm interested in starting that process all over again. But I need to see Tesla at 1034. What's nvda doing? nvda also came down. What was that, the 5th trade then? Wow, there's a lot of trades in this video. Okay, well, I will pause maybe one more trade because this is good action. And at this point, I'm getting in a groove here. So if I'm in a groove, I'm going to try to play on that groove. But I'll go ahead and pause. Okay, I have an order at 1225. That might have been the move. Or do I try to wait for 1028? Because, I mean, there's no guarantees in the market. But 1028 to 1027, I mean, if there was a such thing as a guarantee, like that would be the general area where I could see a bounce happening. But that right there was the move, so I didn't quite calculate it right. But, okay, never mind. I'll pause. Okay, I have an order at 975 here. Need Tesla to come down just a bit more, but that might have been it. I mean, it literally bounced literally right off at 1028. Let's see if it wants to come down in there just a tad bit more. You know, if it does come down, I bet I can get 950 with a pretty violent move to the downside. So let's see if that indeed happens, but I'll go ahead and pause. Okay, I'm at 1350. You know, let's actually look for a break through that trend line and then a rejection at that 50 period moving average. That's what I'm going to play, a fake break out of that trend line, but let's see if we can get up there. Or maybe I should have just played a rejection of the trend line. We'll see. But choices. All right, I will pause. All right, I'm going to try to get filled here at the bid. Looking for, you can see these two lines have converged. Let's see if we can get some sort of rejection here. There we go. So let's see if this, if Tesla does want to get rejected off that area. I don't need it to come down much. So 1033 being very stubborn. I was on the best offer, but didn't get filled. Let's see if it wants to give it another try. Again, it's looking like Tesla's going to need to come down at about 1033 if I'm going to have a chance. There we go. So out for 175, right off that trend line rejection. Fantastic. And wow, that's crazy. Made another, I don't know, was that another 4 trades I made? I think I'm up to 7 on the day and now up to $519 profit, $500 a day, keeps a day job away. I'm just going to wrap it up right now because, again, I already said everything. Hit the like button, leave a comment below. But I will remind you that if you are interested in learning more about the tools that I'm using to make all these decisions, then I do offer a free class, which I will now officially talk about right now. Okay, I lied one more time. As soon as I hit stop, I reminded myself that I wanted to make a quick point here of more of a transparency and disclosure thing. Go back and watch Tuesday's video, and you will see that I made more money than I made here, and it all happened in like 3 minutes. Here, it is now noon. So what is that? 2.5 hours, and I made less than what I did in Tuesday's video. So my point here is this. You never know what's going to happen in the market. Sometimes it is completely smooth sailing. Again, go back and watch Tuesday's video. But you also need to realize, again, from a transparency sake, that unfortunately, not every day is like Tuesday's video where I made 2 trades in like 3 minutes and made $600 some. I wish it were so, but that's not how trading works. Sometimes it's a grind. Sometimes you just got to keep at it like you saw here. But like I said, I did want you to point out that video so you can see kind of 2 contrasts of a very, very, very smooth sailing video. And then here was definitely a grind. But now I promise, after that point has been made, I promise now that if you want to learn more about the tools in the free class here that I'm using, then I will talk about that right now. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only 1 losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.